Welcome back YouTube to another money per hour grind series video. So today's video, we're going to be looking at grinding at Honglim Basein, and I'll be showing you the location, rotations, any mechanics, and then finally looking at the loot. Also just my normal disclaimer, but this video is geared towards a person who may be checking out the spot for the first time. So your money per hour may be a little less until you get efficient. Also, I'm not perfect, so if I happen to leave anything out that you think is important for this spot, please let me know down in the comments, which I do read every single comment. But with that being said, let's jump right on in. So this spot is going to be located in the Land of the Morning Light. So if you weren't aware, Land of the Morning Light has two grinding spots now, which the spot that I'm covering in this video is more of that lower tier, or I guess you could say maybe mid-tier spot, which can be found right here. And the other higher tier spot is going to be located right there, which you can see the AP for that spot is going to be 310, and this one's going to be 270. But yeah, this is the Land of the Morning Light, right? And if we zoom all the way out and we go across the sea, over here is Heidel. But essentially, in order to get to the Land of the Morning Light, you're going to want to use the teleportation through the well, right? The Abyssal Well, which I think you still have to complete the Magnus quest line to get access to this. It's been a few years, so I'm not 100% sure if that's still the case, but I think you have to complete the Magnus quest line in order to get access to use the well, essentially. But yeah, you can just kind of teleport there, and then you can just travel right over here to get to this grinding spot. And once you get here, there's a bunch of different grinding spots, and they are kind of situated. So like there's a little flag right here, and there's one like over in there. I mean, there's a bunch around this area. So I'll kind of just show you that real quick. I'll show you just kind of all the different spots that you can kind of go to here at this grinding spot.
Bring to me the gift of the infernal vessel. Mountains and caves make me whole.
All right, so gear. So I have the Monster Zone info pulled up, right? And if we go to this specific grinding spot and I click view total stats, you can see here that the recommended AP is 730. The recommended DP is 390. And then we have that 850 max AP limit, right? So once you reach 850, and then essentially you get kind of capped out, and the more AP you have, it becomes less efficient, right? Only 30% of the exceeded AP will be applied. And so at this spot, demi-human damage is going to be important, so you can theoretically stack demi-human damage to get more damage to the mobs, right? To kill them quicker. So just keep that in mind. But for the most part, this is a pretty easy spot to get into. Like once you reach the gear requirements here, I would say it's probably one of the better mid-tier spots, and it's really easy to do, super chill to do. And like I said, I'll talk a little bit about the money per hour here in a second, or here in a couple minutes, and then also kind of the mechanics, which let's go ahead and jump into the mechanics now. So this spot is kind of like a Dekia spot where you just kind of stand at a specific location. So for this spot, it's going to be kind of right here where this flag is at. And once you're here and you start killing the mobs, right, the mobs will die, and then another round of mobs will spawn, and you just kind of keep doing that throughout the hour, right? And as you're grinding, an elite will spawn, which you'll get a message saying that a boss bandit appears. And once you kill the elite, you will see a message that says that a portion of Gumiho's energy appears, which is like a blue little flame. And once you see that flame, make sure you attack it. And once you attack it, that flame will start to follow you. And once you get 3 flames, then Gumiho, the white spirit fox, will spawn, and it will actually kill the mobs for you for a certain period of time, which is it's roughly about a minute. And then there's a small chance that a black spirit fox will spawn, which that will give you a 200% black spirit rage that you can use. And it's really cool, which is, like I didn't even know what the 200 per skills even looked like until I came to this grinding spot. It's literally like having a Bankai, which if you do know that reference, then shout it out in the comments. It's literally one of my favorite animes. But yeah, really cool spot, really cool, interesting mechanics, especially getting like the 200% and being able to use the 200% skill. So this is a mid-tier spot. So you may need to adjust your buffs depending on your gear score, right? Your class. But in general, you can run a simple cron mill, right? If you're under that monster AP cap, or an exquisite mill if you're over the monster AP cap. Then you could also potentially run the like corrupt frenzy drought, tent, villa buffs, church buffs, Bell's Heart, AP, monster artifacts, with really any PvE Lightstone combinations that you might want to run. I'm running the best in slot artifacts with the all out attack Lightstone combination. And I mentioned earlier, but this spot is demi-human, so you can stack that as well to potentially do more damage. So let's take a look at the drops here at this grinding spot. And so I have the Monster Zone info pulled up. And the big appeal for this grinding spot are these crystals. And so these specific crystals were released when the new accessories came out. And the cool thing about these crystals is that they don't break when you die, right? And so a lot of people are probably trying to aim for the AP crystal. And so this grinding spot doesn't give you the Gen Dawn Crystal all AP, right? Which would give you +4 AP. The highest it drops is +3. But I will say the bonds, like they are super rare. Like I think Garmoth has on their website saying that one of these drop like one every 78 hours, which is like insane. Now, I will say that the wands do drop pretty frequently. Like I was at least averaging at least one an hour. Like my last hour, I got like I think it was like 4 or 5 of these. So, RNG, right? But yeah, that's kind of the big appeal for this grinding spot are the crystals. Now, you will get black stones, right, which are currently selling for min price, but you can, either sell on the market, you can use it for enhancing or use it for fail stacks. And then of course we have all of these crystals, right? And then they did actually just recently add this into this grinding spot. So the faint origin of dark hunger. And essentially, and I don't know what the drop percentage on this is, but I haven't got one of these either. But this will allow you to increase your fail stacks, right? So on here it says once you at least reach +100, then you can start to use this. But yeah, really cool addition to have, and just again another way to make more money. And then we have the Kaffir stones, right? So if you're coming to the spot, you might be at that like mid tier gear level score, and so you might not have your in game gear pieces yet. So essentially, right, once you have a specific gear piece and you reach Kaffir level 10, and then you get a specific flame, and then you combine those, and then you can get one of your in-game gear pieces, right? But if you already have those pieces, then of course you can just sell them on the market, or use them for your offhand to get your Kaffir levels for your offhand. And then you have your Ancient Spear Dust, which is just a ingredient to essentially make Kaffir stones, right? So you need 5 of these and 1 black stone to make 1 Kaffir. And then the Faded Bandit Mask is the trash loot, which you can see it sells for 20,000, which is, I mean, it's pretty good. Like that's pretty good. All right, so let's take a look at the hours that I was here using a level 2 loot scroll with no agris. You can pay 50 million to get the tent buff for a 50% increase on your drop rate, but I didn't do that in this video. But before we look at my hours, let's take a look at Garmoth, which, remember, Garmoth is not the most accurate, right? But it's the only data that we have access to kind of compare numbers. So, according to Garmoth, the potential average money per hour at 138% drop rate with a yellow loot scroll or level 2 is around 1 billion, with the average trash being around 28.9K. So, it's a number you can potentially expect if you're, right at the geared aspect, or maybe, if you're a little bit over geared, right? You're probably going to hit those higher end numbers. And, if your class is good with PvE, it's also important to note, your money per hour is really going to vary based on that drop rate as well. So, with all of that out of the way, let's take a look at my few hours here, which I did do 3 hours with Awakening Dosa, and then I did 1 hour with my Awakening Warrior. So, my first hour, I got 790 million, and the trash was 26.4K. The second hour, I got around 893 million. And for the trash loot, I got around 26.1K. And then the third hour, I got 809 million. And for the trash loot, I got around 26.4K. And then the fourth and final hour with Awakening Warrior, I got around 26.7K and 986 million, which I did have some pretty good RNG from the crystal drops. So, yeah, in terms of a mid tier spot, overall, the money is pretty good considering how chill this spot is. And, on top of that, you get a chance for a rare crystal to drop, or the Origin of Hunger to drop, right? To net you even more money. And, I feel like the money per hour is kind of similar to Underground Gyfin, right? So you can kind of expect your money to range from like 700 million to over a billion, which of course is dependent on, multiple factors like your class and drop rate, right? But it's just a super, super chill spot. I mean, look, right now, this guy right here is just chilling, right? Gomaho right now is just killing the mobs, and you can just kind of sit there and relax and drink a cup of coffee, right? For I guess about a minute. But let me know down in the comments, have you tried this spot out? If you have, what your average trash per hour is? How much money are you making? Do you like this kind of style of a grinding spot? Again, it's kind of similar to Dekia, which some people don't really care to kind of just stand in one spot. I like it. It's easier on my boomer hands, but yeah, let me know down in the comments. But, with that being said, thanks for watching. If you like the content, then make sure you hit that thumbs up, right? It really, really helps out the channel. And consider subscribing, and I will see you in the next video. Peace.